No budget, so feel free to go completely nuts with the build.
Go completely nuts. Go completely nuts. Completely nuts. Completely nuts. 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 Nuts.
Howdy hey, I'm Hipyo Tech, and I'm completely out of control. This video story begins with a message from TSM Albralelie. If you don't know who he is, well, let's just say he's very good at Apex Legends. He's a 5-time Apex Legends champ and an overall pro gamer. Now, back in April, he reached out to me and said he needed a new keyboard. Why?
So this is my old keyboard.
And just think he was that good with that crummy of a keyboard? Well, okay, it's not the worst, but you get what I mean. If you're brand new to keyboards and have no idea why somebody would want one, I'll get into that later in the video, so keep watching. But I was tasked to get him a keyboard. And not just any keyboard, a custom one-of-one keyboard. So we're gonna be making him a one-of-one bespoke custom keyboard. And the most expensive keyboard I've ever built, ever. Now, I worked with the guys over at Mode and Caustic Customs to get this thing running. And overall, this was my longest build ever, as it started in April and ended in October. Wait, no, it ended in November. Oh my. But I'll spare you the details. Ladies and gentlemen, we went from 77% not subscribed to 75% not subscribed. Amen, let's hit the subscribe button, thank you. To break it all down, the designers over at Mode worked with Caustic Customs, who does custom anodizations, and it produced a very pretty keyboard, which we'll show later. But you can't build like the most expensive keyboard with just a keyboard. You need keycaps and switches too, and we'll get into why those are so expensive soon. After roughly 7 months of waiting, it was finally time, and the keyboard had arrived from Mode. Now, if you're brand new to keyboards, I'm gonna take a little bit of a second to explain why somebody might want a custom keyboard. Okay, so you're brand new to keyboards and you're thinking, why the heck would I ever spend a lot of money on a custom keyboard? Now, granted, this is way more than anyone should ever spend, but this is a cool custom. You're probably thinking, I could just get a Razer keyboard. And yeah, you could. However, here's why you get a custom. Because you can make a keyboard that looks cool. Like this one. Now, keyboards are a tool you use every day, so you want to customize them to make them look as cool as possible. Like this one. With different colors of keycaps and case materials, you can customize the sound, the feel, and the looks of your keyboard down quite a lot. And that brings us over to sound. Just check this out. Yikes. So this is your average budget keyboard that a lot of people might be using. It's a keyboard, you put inputs in it, it's gonna get you there. You hit WASD, it's gonna move you. But the sound and feel of keyboards like this are harsh and unsatisfying at best. But what about a good keyboard? Ooh. And this isn't even a super expensive one. This is just low key. But also, rectangle's cool, period. There's different shapes of rectangles too. You can go all over the place with rectangles. So what have we learned today, class? Rectangle's cool. That's what we've learned today. If you're interested in diving more into keyboards, then check out some of my other videos on my channel, like this one in the top right. It's fantastic for beginners and I always recommend it. But back to the build. Yeah, we're building this, remember? So the Mode 65 comes with a little soft / is this like a medium hardness shell case? I don't know, it's a case that's kind of hard. Now for most people this would be kind of useless, but for Albralelie this will be quite useful as it will protect it if he goes to tournaments. I mean, if you're spending $2,000 on a keyboard, you gotta keep it safe. The keyboard did come with a USB-C cable, but we won't be needing this. We'll talk about that more later. But it's fine, it's a cable. And it's time for me to stop teasing you and actually just pull this thing out. So feeling this thing in my hands, it is decently hefty, but not the heaviest keyboard I've ever felt. But this design turned out so incredible. Caustic Customs is the same guy that did the Tfue keyboard for taehatypes. Yeah, Tfue keyboard, woohoo, comment Tfue, yeah. But yeah, it's been graced by the same artiste. The guys over at Mode helped me customize this, and everybody did a very good job. We've got the Albralelie logo on there, and then a kintsugi, sorry if I butchered that, pattern throughout the whole entire case. Now, you can build one of these keyboards yourself, albeit without the fancy paint job. If you'd like to check it out, then click that link down in the description. It's an affiliate link, and it'll help me out. Oh yeah, it's a lot cheaper though. It's only like 300 bucks. This board is made of aluminum, or aluminum, and overall it's a beast. Very high quality premium materials going on here. We even went the extra mile of making the plate red, which does, I mean, it's so useless, but it's red and you know it's red when you're using it. Therefore, it's really cool. I mean, it's like how racing stripes on a race car help you go faster or something, right? Oh, and then look at the back. It's like, basically it's a lightning bolt pattern that goes out, but it's so cool. Oh man. Now this is the bulk of the cost of the keyboard. If you were to buy a Mode 65 yourself, it would not cost
anywhere near $1,500, but this whole process of anodization cost roughly $1,500. The keyboard itself is probably around $400, and then you have to account for labor of the design and the anodization itself. But yeah, that's about $1,500 of the cost. Anyways, back to the building part. Remember, we are building. It's time to put these rubber feet on. This prevents the board from slipping around and, you know, dampens some vibrations and keeps the board a little bit more safe. Next, I unscrewed the back weight, and then I was able to take the keyboard apart. Now, there's a bunch of different ways to mount your keyboard plate to your keyboard itself. You can use gaskets, you can use standoffs, there's a bunch of different things. There's lots of buzzwords out there. In this case, I've opted for the sandwich mount. Now, essentially, this is top mount with rubber caps over where the plate connects to the top of the case, as well as this silicone bit that we'll visit later. Next, we need to install the daughter board. If viewer bored, then feel free to watch one of my other videos. Anyways, now Albralelie wanted a little bit of freedom to swap out switches later. For a lot of custom keyboard builds, they end up going with soldered switches, and I think that's a bit of a bummer, as if the client ends up going down the rabbit hole and wants to play around, they might not want to be soldering. Because of that, we went with the hot swap PCB, meaning that you can remove switches and install switches without needing to solder them in. I also got Duroc V2 stabilizers, which I lubed myself, and all of the things I'm using in this video are found in the description, and they're affiliate links. You can check them out and it'll support me. Now, I'm a little bit extra, so I decided to go with 2 switches for this build. Albralelie wanted the option to try lavenders as he liked them in sound tests, so we've got some lubed lavenders here, and we've also got some custom Franken switches. These are quote-unquote cream packas that I got from Shoobs. Shout out Shoobs. We love Shoobs. Go subscribe to him right now. He sent these to me as a birthday present, and I'm using them in a client build. It's because I wanted to spread the love. These switches use the housing of an alpaca switch, but the stem of a kale switch, like a cream. In this case, we went with kale reds, as this created a very cool color scheme that matched Albralelie colors. So you guys get the point. We installed the switches. There you go. Now, if you're new to keyboards, the type of switch that you want is often really confusing. In this case, because he plays a ton of games, and mostly first-person shooters, but also Osu and stuff, I decided to go with a lighter linear with a shorter travel distance. These are commonly referred to as speed switches. Essentially, they bottom out faster, so it feels like the switch is responding faster. These are typically the style of switch that I recommend for people that do a lot of gaming, as it just feels better when you're bottoming out a lot. However, for typing, it's maybe not the best idea, as long-term it could cause some type of RSI constantly bottoming out. It's bad for you. But I'm not a doctor, I don't know. That's just what I heard. Anyways, enough on the switches. Next, I had to install the silicone dampener, which also functions as some added weight. This will give the keyboard a more muted sound, which some people tend to prefer. A lot of people associate muted sounds with that type of thok that people look for, but this isn't gonna be the thokiest build. The lavenders would actually be the better switch for that. Now let's talk about that other $500.
Nice.
Yeah, so we've got Gmk Metaverse R2. Now we paid $350 for these back in April, but they have gone up in value to around $550, as this keycap set will never be produced again. Why, you might ask? Long story, but essentially it's a set based on Persona that wasn't officially licensed. Naughty naughty. Also, we've got this red accent, which is the Royal Kit. Now, you're probably thinking, why the heck would somebody pay this much for plastic? What the heck are you doing? Why? This is plastic. No, God.
It's...
Frankly, I have nothing, but these keycaps do hold their value very well, so it's almost like an investment in a way. But they are very high quality. Speaking of high quality, the sponsor of this video, Cablemod. With Cablemod's custom cable configurator, you can make your own custom cable and have it shipped to you. They have a ton of different options of pre-made cables as well if customizing isn't your thing, and they all fall under pretty good value. I used their custom configurator to make Albralelie the cable for this video. It was very easy to create, and I've got this nice custom coiled cable for him. If you want to create a custom cable of your own, or just want a very nice cable, then check out Cablemod by clicking that link down in the description, and you'll help support this channel. They've got tons of different designs, and if coiled cables aren't your thing, then they've also got straight cables as well. So check them out right now. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the keyboard build is now done, and it's now ready to mail off to Albralelie. I did this whole build a week before moving, so I frantically shipped it away and hoped that it got there safe.
Swear to God, if you don't get a better mic camera after buying a 2K keyboard, I'm gonna scream. Listen to hell. Going in. Got a nice braided cable. I've never had a keyboard cable like this before. Ready, boys? I don't want to like manhandle it. This is a sturdy keyboard. Has some oomph to it. So good. So clean. Oh, baby. Oh god, that is good. Here's we're gonna get rid of our old board. It's like softer than I expected, if that makes sense. Feels good though.
But this was the moment of truth. Will he like it for Apex Legends? Will it make him play well? Who knows? Let's find out. Also, wow, his movement.
But the switches feel super responsive. Like insanely responsive.
Well, there you have it. It's a happy customer and a happy Hipyo. Now, I don't really make this a thing to do commissions, and I'm probably only going to do it for people like pro players and that type of thing. And if this video got you interested on keyboards, feel free to check out some of my other videos and hit that subscribe button. I've got so many new cool things planned now that I've moved, and I'm excited to show them to you guys. So stay tuned, stick around, and I'm going to be leaving you guys with a sound test. Please watch the whole thing to support my YouTube algorithm overlords, otherwise they won't let me eat. Anyways, bye!